Hello, thank you for joining me in my podcast. I am Tabitha Rosa, and today I will be discussing 1984's motion picture of The Karate Kid as equipment for living for anyone that has experienced being bullied and feeling inferior. Now, we all know that everyone loves it when the underdog wins. In real life and in film, when we witness someone beating the odds and doing what most consider impossible to overcome, it instills a sense of inspiration in ourselves. And no matter what environment we are in, whether it's a classroom or the White House, there's always going to be a bully that preys on the weaker. The film The Karate Kid is a wonderful reference to equipment for living for anyone that has been bullied or felt inferior towards anyone else. According to Kenneth Burke's theory, literature is structured to enable people to apply the strategies found in characters' behaviors in the fictional plots of literature to finding answers in their own problems. The same can be said with film. Equipment for living suggests rhetoric assists the audience in copying with or maneuvering through life. That's according to Littlejohn and Foss. Now, the film The Karate Kid focuses on the story of a teenage boy who experienced a substantial amount of bullying by his peers after moving into a new town. The movie focuses on the problem of bullying, depicting that bullying is as serious a problem that ultimately causes emotional and psychological trauma to the victim. Youths who are bullied have been found to have significant risk of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and even attempted suicide. And many, they try and escape through use of drug and alcohol abuse. The act of bullying is most prevalent in group settings, especially in schools. Over time, a student is being bullied or victimized when he or she is exposed repeatedly and over time to negative actions on part of one or more than other students. Negative actions include attempted or actual intentional infliction of injury or discomfort. For these actions to be considered bullying, an imbalance in strength must exist between the people harassing the student and being harassed. And in The Karate Kid, the main character, Daniel LaRusso, he's being bullied by a leader of a karate gang named Johnny. Johnny's a strong boy, and his gang's mantra was no surrender, no retreat. Since Johnny's the strongest, he's considered the ruler. And in such a way, the film reveals the main principles of the formation of bully, which basically implies that the stronger offender offends the weaker, and the weaker can't escape the bullying. The only way they can escape is by joining the gang or recognizing the authority of the stronger. If the weaker, like Daniel, attempts to resist, he becomes the victim and subject to bullying not only from the part of the leader but also from his entire gang. Now, through the literature review, what I found was that when we utilize movies as equipment for living, which was a concept first observed by Stephen Young. He adapted the Burkean theory of equipment for living in the works of literature. According to Young, people can remember at least one movie that has transcended cinema's mundane ability to entertain and left a deeper, lasting impression. To prove his theory, he had 12 participants and interviewed them about any films that have impacted their lives. The study also focuses on whether the viewer can differentiate themselves from the characters of these movies. At the highest form of equipment for living, the viewers take the integrated approach to applying the film into their own lives. Viewers have a clear differentiation between the reality of the film and the reality of their lives, yet they're still able to rotate the interpretation of the film so that it has a specified function in their own lives. Although viewers have a clear understanding of differentiating real life from fantasy and film, work, written worn has the same effect in the human interpretation of the arts. In an article written by Dale Seifert, Viewers respond to the medium when it's conditioned to echo something in their own feelings or experience. A viewer was asked whether or not he liked the movie The Fugitive's main character. He responded by saying he identified with the character and he could see himself emulating the fugitive's actions. Now, Barry Brummett also refers to the concept of using film as a form of equipment for living when viewers can relate to the film's character and their experiences and ultimately apply it to their own real-life situations. When we examine the film The Karate Kid, the audience will be able to relate as if they ever felt victimized by someone or a group of stronger people. A viewer can connect with Daniel's character if they have ever been ostracized by a group because they considered him or her weaker and inferior. The film also offers the audience an optimistic outlook on dealing with bullies. I believe the most paramount themes in the movie are determination and perseverance. Daniel was determined to stand up to his victimizers, and he persevered by winning the karate title in the movie. In the movie, Daniel overcomes his bullies with the help of his karate sensei, Mr. Miyagi. Another important lesson in this movie is that when tough things happen, it's how the person chooses to deal with those things that determines their destiny. Mr. Miyagi said it best: lesson not just karate only, lesson for the whole life. Whole life have a balance, everything be better. Mr. Miyagi did not only teach Daniel karate, he also taught him a lot about life. He offered the boy a total new philosophy where there is no room for bullying, but reason and a set of values according to which Mr. Miyagi lived his life by. A film like this is imperative in today's society because bullying has become all too common and has been proven to end in tragedy. There are many instances where teens have taken their own lives just because they have been harassed by their peers.